What to do? I'm Wood Dude. Throughout my life, I've only ever had two fears: spiders and multi-layered cheese dip. But ever since starting a business, I developed a third fear: other people. How about a little context? I started a custom woodworking business about a year ago, making custom game tables and whatnot. It's been a lot of fun, but I need clients. So in order to get some of those clients, I'm going to go around to a bunch of local game stores here in Denver and ask if anybody is interested in a custom game table for their store. Hopefully one of them says yes, and I can build a table in this video. No, fuck, shit, Okay, so I've got my list of stores, and I paid about $40 to print out some sweet-looking pamphlets and some nifty-looking business cards. All that's left to do is to drive over there and to talk to some folks. I'm outside one of the places now, and I'm a little nervous. I think I might throw up. I don't get out much. But after some motivational music and reminding myself why I'm doing this, I was ready. Hi, my name is. I'm started a woodworking business creating custom game tables.
Cool.
Completely customizable to size, shape, whatever you guys want. I'm just going around to all the different stores in the area to see any interest, hand out flyers, and just get my name out there. I'm walking around to different stores in the area just to see who's interested in doing a collab and having me build a table for their store. I would love to schedule a sit down with you or the owner of the store to talk about this a little bit more in detail.
I definitely recommend pinning one to the bulletin board in the play area.
Okay, so that was my first store, and I thought it went pretty good. They didn't want a game table, but I didn't puke halfway through the pitch. I call that a good start. After a full morning of driving around, I pitched to 8 other stores in Denver and 4 in the Colorado Springs. The reception to the pitches were mixed. Most of the stores seemed kind of about the game table, but some did show some interest. One of the stores even wanted me to contact the owner right away and tell them about it, and I did, and I got nothing. I waited about a week, but got no response from any of the game stores, and to be honest, it was kind of crushing. But I did have an idea of what things I could do better next time. Most notably the pamphlet and my pitch, to be honest. It was just too generic. They couldn't envision when I handed them the pamphlet the kind of game table that would work for their store. It was almost like I needed to design a custom game table for every store that I was pitching to, which, to be honest, is something someone's commented on in the past. I finally figured it out. So I designed a few game tables for a few select game stores in the Denver area, and I even added their game store logo on the top of the table, and made it so that all the tables had a removable top to reveal an inset gaming arena. I put some screenshots of those tables in each of the emails to the stores. I also said in the email that I would make the table at cost price. Basically, they just need to pay for materials. And after sending 3 emails out, I got back nothing. Nah, I'm just kidding. I did get back one response. Someone wanted me to make them a table for their store, but first they wanted to meet in person at their store. So I got my perky pale ass over there quickly to Golden, Colorado. Gorgeous town, by the way, nestled between the base of the Rockies. After wandering around a little bit, I eventually found the game store called the Golden Game Guild. I'm just realizing the golden in their name, it refers to the town name. Oh man, I'm dumb. After a quick chat with the owners, we agreed on replacing one of their worn-out tables and switching it with this: a 42-inch by 62-inch game table made out of rustic cherry with 3 topper pieces and a board game arena lined with black felt, with some hooks on the sides for people to hang their backpacks. I estimated the table would cost about $510 in materials, and they were good with that. So, it's time to build a table. Okay, so I've got the sides of the table already done. So basically I have 2 long boys and 2 short boys ready to go. They're made of a couple of pieces of maple that I just nailed and glued together. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to join them together to make the frame of the table. I'm going to use a method called the floating tenon. It's pretty simple. You make some holes in the two pieces you want to glue together, and then you make this, the tenon. And you stick that tenon in the hole, well, both holes, and glue those two pieces together for a very strong joint. And because this frame is almost 4 feet wide, I can't just use my normal pipe clamps. I found these on Amazon, some pipe couplers that I can use to basically combine two of my 2-foot clamps together to make a 4-foot long clamp. It all came together seamlessly. No, fuck, shit, almost. I did have some trouble getting everything square, but I was able to figure it out. And after a day for the glue to dry, I chamfered and sanded some of the edges and then sprayed on a coat of black latex paint in my very professional spray booth. Hey, down in front, you bitch. That's better. Now that the frame's done, for the bottom play surface, I cut a huge piece of 3/4 inch MDF and used some spray adhesive to glue a larger sheet of soft black felt. I just have to carefully lower the MDF down onto the felt. Then screw that bottom play surface into the bottom of the frame, and voila, a table. Well, kind of. A shitty one at least. It needed some, legs. Oh, damn, that's bright. All right, get that off the screen. But first, before those legs, I needed to add the hardwood rails to the frame. Using some 4-inch wide figured cherry, I cut and glued them right on top. And honestly, that's about it. Nothing really too fancy there. For the legs, I bought some tasty thick boy cherry and glued 2 pieces together to make a 2-inch by 2-inch square. Then I cut a taper on 2 sides of the leg and added some threaded inserts on the bottom for some feet levelers. To give the leg some corner detail, I used my CNC and table saw to cut a few pieces of cherry to make this. We'll call it a leg cover. When it's all together, it'll look like, well, shit, because I fucked it up. Why? No. I don't know why you're confused. You make a dozen mistakes almost every video. Damn it. You see this? The leg cover is too short and doesn't cover the leg. So all these pieces are now useless. And I had to spend another 4 hours doing everything all over again. But I'm glad I did because now it looks way better. However, I still don't have a way of attaching the legs to the table, so I went and designed this. It's cold rolled steel, just over 1/8 of an inch thick. I used this on the bottom of the table with some threaded inserts into the legs and the frame. Then I just install some bolts and boom, we have a standing table. But there's a a problem. The table be very wobbly. I might be the goat of woodworking, but I'm a kindergartner when it comes to machining. The bracket I designed to mount to the legs of the table has a lot of flaws, apparently. I don't know what they are, I just know this ain't working. So after talking to a workshop neighbor who's actually a machinist, they recommended a bracket flange thing that looks like this, and attaches to the table and legs in the corners like this. Sadly, that added a week and $100 to this table build, but what am I going to do? It had to be done. By the way, the company I used to make these bracket flange thingies is a US company called Sencut Sen. Not sponsored, by the way, but they did a great job in making these parts somewhat affordable and did it very, very quickly, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. Link to the website in the description. Probably. I'm going to forget, but check there. Once I put those bracketed flanges on the table and the legs, this thing was rock solid and wasn't going anywhere. But we're not done. The game shop said they wanted 3-piece toppers so that the table can be used normally as well. So I cut up some 3/4 inch thick MDF and glued some cherry banding all around the edges. It was about 1 inch thick, I think. Then I ironed on some figured cherry veneer to the MDF, and that gave me 2 pieces. But Wood Dude, I thought you said it was a 3-piece topper set. I did, you smart butt. The third piece will be made from solid cherry because I need to carve in the Game Shop logo and fill it with black resin. Okay, so the final topper is ready to go to get the carving, but I've run into a slight problem. It turns out it's too big. I'm gonna need to think about this for a little bit and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so after thinking about this problem for all of like 2 minutes, I decided I'm gonna do nothing and see what happens. We are witnessing true genius here, folks. But surprisingly, nothing bad happened. We filled the logo with some resin and sanded it and the rest of the table and slapped on some finish, which means we're ready for some B-roll. Oh, god damn, that looks good. I really like how that 3-piece topper set came out. It actually worked out really well with the rubber bumpers on the bottom of each piece, helping it locate within the table, and a tongue and groove on the sides of the pieces so that they could kind of align each other vertically and make sure everything was flush. With the table now ready and built, we're not done. We need to give it over to the game store.
Oh, fuck.
What could, possibly go wrong?
I don't think this is gonna fit in my car.
Actually, that title's not right. It's actually the day after delivery day. I'm sorry I lied. But you may be wondering, hey, how did it go? The delivery of the game table went mostly according to plan. I got some help delivering the game table from one of my workshop neighbors. He allowed me to borrow his truck, and thankfully things went pretty smoothly with getting it on the truck. None of the parts were damaged during the drive, and everything came together very nice and easy at the game shop. I couldn't film us actually installing the game table because the game shop was open. There were customers all around. I just got a couple final shots of it once it was all put together and put in the final space. But it wouldn't be a Wood Dude video if nothing bad happened, and indeed, something bad happened. You see, I designed this wall rack that was meant to store the toppers when they're not in use. You just basically take off the topper and you slide it into one of the rungs on the wall rack, and there you go. You have something to kind of keep the toppers out of the way. When we were delivering the game table and that topper rack, I got it installed onto the wall, no problem, but when I went to go and test it in front of the game shop owner, I slid one of the toppers into the topper rack, and I noticed it was suspiciously tight. And I thought, well, clearly I just need to use more force. I regret using more force. The bottom rung of the topper rack just completely broke off in the direction of the wood grain, which was incredibly embarrassing, but the game shop owner was very nice and understanding. I'm just gonna have to make a whole new topper rack within the next week and get it to him. It's stupid of me. I should have gave way more clearance, and I should have used foam in order to make it a more snug fit. But thankfully, nothing else bad happened, so I'm gonna call that a win. I estimated in the beginning that this project was going to cost $510. I was slightly off because I didn't account for the fact that I had to redo the leg brackets not 2 times, 3 times. So the actual cost of the table and everything around it was $650. Despite that, I really enjoyed working on this project. The game shop owners were a delight to work with, and I learned a lot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good day. Peace.